Zermatt is a small town that sits at the far end of the Mattertal Valley. Zermatt is one of the most popular mountain destinations in the Swiss Alps, best known as home to the most iconic mountain in Switzerland, the Matterhorn, and the steepest open-air railway in the world, Gornergrat Railway. Zermatt is one of those places that many consider a must-see in Switzerland. The little alpine village of Zermatt can only be reached by train. The only vehicles you see here are the little electric vans. Zermatt is a car-free town because there are no roads to access it, so if you are driving, you need to park your car at the Tesch train station and take the train into town. The Matterhorn is visible from just about everywhere in the town of Zermatt and from the mountain peaks. This pyramidal-shaped mountain sits on the border between Switzerland and Italy. The summit is 4,478 meters, 14,692 feet high, making this one of the highest peaks in the Alps in Europe. There are three main mountain peaks to visit from Zermatt: Klein Matterhorn, Matterhorn Glacier Paradise, Gornergrat, and Rothhorn. Visit all three or pick your favorite. They are all accessible from the town of Zermatt by train, funicular, or cable car. In order to visit all three mountain peaks, you will need 2 days' best things to do in Zermatt. Visit Matterhorn Glacier Paradise. Ride the train to Gornergrat. Ride the cable car to Sunnegge, Blauherd, and Rothhorn. Stroll through Zermatt town. The town of Zermatt is small and easily walkable. There are several cable cars and trains that take you up into the mountains. From the city centre, it is just a short walk to get to the bottom stations for these lifts. If you have the Swiss Travel Pass, you get a 50% discount on individual tickets to Matterhorn Glacier Paradise and Gornergrat. If you have the Swiss Travel Pass, you get a 25% reduction on the price of the Peak Pass and a 50% reduction on the price of the Peak 2 Peak Pass. Day 1. Start your day in Zermatt with an early morning ride on the Gornergrat Railway. If you're staying in town, we recommend taking one of the earliest trains, 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. Not only will you beat the crowds, but you will also be able to enjoy some of the best scenery by going early. Along the way, you can admire the stunning alpine scenery. Depending on the season, you might start your 30-minute journey in the warm, summerly weather down in the village and then step out on the snow on the mountain. Important tip: sit on the right side of the train when going up, the side of the Matterhorn, for the best views. Also, be sure to choose a seat where the windows can be opened. That way you can take nicer pictures from the train. Riffelsee is a tiny mountain lake, best known for the picture-perfect mirror image of the Matterhorn. When there's no wind and the water is calm, you can see the most beautiful reflections of the Matterhorn and the other mountains on the surface of this lake. Tip: the best time for reflections is early morning. Therefore, we recommend that you visit Riffelsee first, before going all the way to Gornergrat. Riffelsee Lake is just a short 5 minutes walk from the Rothenboden train station, which is one before the last station on the Zermatt-Gornergrat railway line. After visiting Riffelsee, walk back to Rothenboden and take the next train to Gornergrat. At Gornergrat, explore all the viewing platforms, do the short 360-degree scenic loop hike, and check out the shops at Gornergrat Kulm Hotel. There's also a restaurant here where you could also have some coffee. After visiting Gornergrat, you could take a train back down towards Zermatt. Take a train to Riffelberg, which is just one station lower from Rothenboden or 2 stations from Gornergrat. From Riffelberg, you can take a gondola to Fury, where you can jump directly on the gondola to the Matterhorn Glacier Paradise. If you didn't pack a picnic lunch, you'll find plenty of restaurants at all bigger gondola stations. Just keep in mind that it will take some more time. Located at Klein Matterhorn, Matterhorn Glacier Paradise is another must-see in Zermatt. It's a totally different experience than Gornergrat, but equally impressive. Zermatt town. It would be a pity to visit the Zermatt area and not see the town itself. So even if you only have a day in Zermatt, in addition to the Gornergrat and the Matterhorn Glacier Paradise, we recommend that you plan to spend some time in town as well. One of the nicest things to do in Zermatt is to simply walk down the main street that leads to the railway station. It's called Bahnhofstrasse, Station Street, and is lined with shops, restaurants, and hotels. You can find pretty much everything here, from Swiss chocolates to the most expensive watches, and from McDonald's to fancy gourmet restaurants. Right next to the museum, there's also a big church. Behind it, you can find Mountaineers Cemetery. It's just a small graveyard where some of the famous mountain climbers are buried, but it's really interesting to see. Ideally, you visit the museum first and then the cemetery. One more place that's really worth seeing and only takes a few minutes is the old part of town, aka Hinterdorf. This is where you can see some of the traditional wooden houses on stilts, typical to the Valais region in southern Switzerland. Day 2, the Five Lakes Hike. Walking along the fast-flowing stream of glacial meltwater, you soon reach the cable car station. Take the funicular up to Sonega and the cable car on up to Blauherd. From there, you can take a leisurely walk downhill back to Sonega past 5 mountain lakes, admiring mountain flowers and stunning views of the mighty Matterhorn as you go. Rothorn is one of the highest viewpoints in Zermatt, and from here you get a spectacular view of the Matterhorn and the surrounding mountains. On the journey to Rothorn, you will pass through 2 stations, Sonega and Blauherd, both offering more great views and fun things to do. Blauherd is the middle station on the mountain. From here, you can hike to Stellasee, hike the 5 Lakes Trail, enjoy more views of the Matterhorn, and ride a mountain cart to Sonega. In Sonega, visit Lycée, have lunch at the Sonega restaurant, or walk the gourmet trail to Findeln and have lunch. The 5 lakes, Stellasee, Gringisee, Grundsee, Moosjesee, and Lycée, take on different appearances depending on the weather. If you choose a fine day, you will be able to see the surrounding mountains mirrored in the lakes. The Blauherd mountain station gives you a great vantage point on the stunning mountain scenery and is the starting point for many of the hikes in this area. If you are lucky, Stellasee is the lake that will give you a perfect reflection of the mighty Matterhorn if you are hiking in the right weather. If not, you will have to make do with admiring the cotton grass that grows around it. Gringisee and Grundsee lakes are good places for spotting alpine flora, whilst Moosjesee is a classic example of a lake fed by sediment-rich glacial meltwater and has the distinctive color of glacial milk. If you like our content, please do subscribe our channel for more interesting travel videos and hit the like button.